Hi everyone, my name's Christy. I'm the high school librarian at Indian Trails Public Library. I hope you're all doing well. If you're watching this, it's probably in December, and we have a lot of winter holidays in December. And I first and foremost want to wish everyone a truly happy holiday season, and I hope everyone stays safe. But along with all these wonderful holidays, one of the things that is a tradition for a lot of holidays is the giving of gifts. And I'm hoping in this video I can give you some tips and tricks on how to elevate your wrapping presents, and that you go from just like a normal gift giving to people are like, oh my goodness, that is a beautiful present. They're pretty easy. Most of these ideas I've got from Creative Bug, which is a database that Indian Trails has access to if you have an Indian Trails Public Library card. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is to wrap a square gift. This will be books or boxes. Squares are always the easiest to wrap, so it's a great place to start. I'm going to give you some tips on how to wrap weird things a little bit later, but the more rectangular the object, the easier it's going to be to wrap. So I pre-cut my paper, and the only reason I'm not showing you how I did that is because this style of wrapping, if you don't do a great job cutting, if there's any tears or rips or jagged edges, I'm going to teach you how to wrap it so that it doesn't show when you're wrapping the present. My only tip with wrapping paper is it's better to go more than less. It's really easy to cut paper afterwards. It's much harder to stretch paper and make it cover if you don't have enough. So when in doubt, go more. So let's get started. I am going to turn my present over because whatever you want them to see first when they're opening the gift, make sure you have the seam of the wrapping paper on the opposite side. Seams are considered less pretty, so that's why I recommend making sure you're gonna fold and tape on the back of whatever it is. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this over. Make sure this edge is firm, so give it a nice solid crease. And then fold this over too and give it a nice solid crease. And then if you have anything with patterns, if you can line them up, that does make it look a little fancier, but it doesn't really matter. And normally what I used to do is I used to just put a piece of tape here, but what I recently learned is if with this nice solid crease, if you fold your wrapping paper over just a little and then try to make it straight, but if it's not 100% straight, that's okay too. Give it a nice firm crease and then grab a piece of tape. This is going to hide any unseemly rips or tears or jagged edges, and it's going to make it look just nicer in general. So then we're going to come to the edges of the books, which is a little bit trickier. And what you're going to do, and this is where you got to fold. You got to have strong finger strength because you got to fold. So you're going to press this down until it like reaches your table and fold it over so it has a nice solid seam. Okay? And then you're going to pop that out. Make sure you fold it enough that you can see the seam even when it's not folded over. And then you're going to do the same here. Fold the seam. And make sure your book doesn't like pop out of this edge or whatever you're wrapping. Make sure it's solid and firm so you can see where it is. And this is where I told you it's easier to cut than it is to stretch. I have a little too much here, so I am gonna just cut the extra off. And again, it's okay if it's not totally straight because this form of wrapping, it's gonna cover any of these kind of gross jagged edges. So then what you're going to do is you're going to fold the corners of the books in, give it a nice strong, again, push. And again, make sure it doesn't fall out the back. You're going to fold this stuff over, just like this. You're folding it over and pushing it down. And you're going to do the same to the other side. Fold it over. And again, the stronger your seams are, the tighter your folds are, the nicer this is going to look. And you can just cover it like that. Tape it. And so see, it's nice and taped, and they can't see any of my wonky edges. So we're going to do the same thing on this edge. It's a little bit easier because this is wrapped, and so you don't have to worry about it falling out. So fold this over, give yourself strong seams, strong edges. Pop it out. Over on this side. Strong edges. Once again, I have a little bit too much. So cut, cut, cut. It's okay, we don't have to be fancy because we're covering these. Pop the insides down. Fold over. Oops, a little too much there. So we're just going to fold this edge over. Fold this over, also a little too much, so we're going to fold it over. And then put a little piece of tape on it. That's a little bit much, but, and there you go. You have this nice, solid, well-wrapped, no edges, no jagged anything gift. This is a lovely gift. If this is what you bring to any gift exchange, people are going to say, oh, this is lovely, this is great, you did such a great job, and that's fine. But I do think there's a way we can elevate this a little bit more, and that is with a bow. Now, you can buy bows at any single store. They'll definitely have them, especially during the holidays. But I think it's more fun to make it at home. And so I'm going to teach you how to make a homemade bow. It's really simple. All you need to do that is some fun holiday ribbon, scissors, a hot glue gun, which I have over here heating up, and a little bit of string. It doesn't matter what kind of string. I liked it to match, but if you want to mix match, that's totally okay too. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get a length of ribbon about 10 inches. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is the next one has to be longer. That's really the only thing that matters. So I'm going to cut it about here. And if you look, I did a bad job cutting straight. It's definitely crooked, which is fine because I'm going to hide that later. And then, so I have that here. And then again, what I said, the only thing that's important is the second one is about 2 inches longer. See? Different size ribbons. I don't know if you can see super well, but I promise that they are. One is longer than the other. And so then what we're going to do is you're going to want to take the first piece of ribbon, and just make it into a loop like this. It's pretty simple, but you're going to want to hot glue that down. And again, I don't know if you can see, but there's stripes on this, and they're not perfectly lined up. And that's okay, because they're not going to really see this part. So take my hot glue gun. And if you've never worked with a hot glue gun before, I recommend maybe having someone supervise you. The only thing you need to know is that this metal part is hot, like it can burn you, and that once you squeeze the trigger, the glue dries quickly, so you have to work kind of fast. So just gonna put a little straight line of glue right there. And then glue the two together. Now do be careful, the glue is going to be hot, so don't like rest your hand too long on any glue. You can get them on your fingers, it'll dry quickly, but don't like hold down the glue for long periods of time because that is going to hurt your fingers, and we don't want that. So this is now a circle, which is great, and we're just going to sit there and let that dry. And we're going to do the same thing with our longer ribbon. Make it a circle first so you have like a good idea. And then just put hot glue on it. Oh, my glue is almost running out, but that's okay, you just need a little. And you smush them together. Perfect. I'm gonna go quickly grab another glue stick because mine is running out. Give me one moment. Awesome, thank you guys. Sorry about that. But yep, got my glue stick. And you just, again, if you've never worked with a glue gun before, really simple. You just stick it in there and you have glue. Okay, and then the next step is you got to make sure the circles are totally dry, and it looks like they are. And then you're going to kind of flatten them. I recommend trying to get the seam, especially if it's kind of a see-through ribbon in the middle, because that's going to be the hardest to see. And then once again, you're going to take the longer ribbon and have that be the bottom part of your bow. And you're going to take your top ribbon, the shorter ribbon, and have that be the top part of your bow. So that's what it looks like right now. Totally like a bow, right? I'm just kidding. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your string and you're going to cut. So you have just, a little bit of string, doesn't really matter how much. And then this is the tricky part. You're going to kind of try to squeeze your bow together. And it does not look great right now. It looks kind of like a hot mess. They're all kind of on top of each other, and that's okay. So again, from the middle, you're going to try to squeeze the two together. And then you're going to take your string and just kind of tie it around the middle the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect because we can fix this a little later. Also, fair warning, my bows have a ton of glitter because I love glitter, but glitter gets everywhere. So if you want a very clean process, don't buy a glittery bow. If you don't care, like me, and you don't mind vacuuming for ages, get a glittery bow. So then this is what it's going to kind of look like, which is kind of like a sad little bow right now. And what you just want to do is kind of spread the edges out and, work with the ribbon to make it look kind of bigger. Spread it out like this. You see how one side's different than the other? It's just because I'm, working with the bow, playing with it a little. No super clear-cut way to do this, but there's no wrong way or right way. Just whatever you want. It's your ribbon. It's your bow. You made it from at home. You made it from scratch. No one can criticize you because they bought a store-bought ribbon and you made yours from scratch. And so then you have this fun little ribbon here, and you put it on your gift. So you just take a little bit of tape, wrap it on the outside, stick it right here. I recommend sticking it on your string because some ribbon's really hard to tape. And boom, you just took a normal gift and made it way fancier. As with anything, variety is the spice of life. So let's say you're getting a little tired of those giant ribbons covering your gifts. That is a-okay. I'm going to show you another quick and easy little thing you can do to elevate any wrapped gift. Again, starting with the base, the same wrapping we did. This is actually the same gift. I just removed the giant green bow. And what you need for this is you just need some ribbon. Preferably long. You can always cut extra off. Again, it's hard to add more. A good rule of thumb is whatever the gift is, make sure you can wrap it around twice the long way. And if you can do that, you'll have enough. So that's a good way to figure out how much ribbon you need at least. Again, don't be afraid to go overboard with how long it is because you can always cut. You cannot always add. So do you remember how earlier in this video I talked about having the seam at the bottom because we didn't want people to see the seam? This is important that you start with the gift facing up. Whatever you want them to see, the front, the top, whatever you want them to see, make sure that's facing up. And take your ribbon and start with like 7-8 inches to the right. To the left. So you see I have some extra stuff here. And I'm going to take my left thumb and place it down so it's held tight. And I'm going to wrap it around the whole gift. Make sure this bow is in the ribbon is in the middle of the gift because that's going to look symmetrical and really pretty. So then the ribbon comes out right next to your thumb. You have the ribbon wrapped right next to your thumb. And this is one of the trickier parts. You're going to want to cross it over. So I don't know if you can see, but the ribbon is being crossed over my thumb. And this is important later. So we cross it over our thumb and then bring it to the top center. And then we wrap that around. And so that the ribbon comes crisscross 90 degrees in the middle of the gift. Now this is the trickiest part. You need to move this ribbon. You can use your thumb so it's centered here, centered of the gift. And this is tricky. You can slide your thumb over, you can pull it over, however you want. But just make sure that it's centered of the gift. And then you're going to take your ribbon your ribbon end that you've been working with, and you're going to fold it over the thing that's on your thumb, but under the ribbon that's already vertical. So over my thumb ribbon, gosh, I've said ribbon so often, but it's a fun thing to talk about. And then under this ribbon that's already there. And then you're gonna find your edge and you're gonna pull tight. And this might look a little weird right now, that's okay. But again, make sure it's tight. And then you're gonna just kind of tie a knot or tie a bow. Just like that. And then make a nice little, like you're tying your shoelace. Boom. And there you have a nice wrapped gift. You can still play with it a little, but again, we just took something pretty simple and made it way fancier. You can use any thickness of ribbon you want, shiny, unshiny, whatever you want. But this is again a great way to add some variety into your gift wrapping and just an easy way to elevate just this pretty simple gift. So those are some ways to wrap a square gift. But what if you're saying, Christy, this is great, but I have some weird shaped gifts. How do I wrap those nice? This is a really simple trick. It doesn't work for anything huge, but if you have like some small gifts, maybe some stocking stuffers, or if you're doing a cookie exchange, this is also a really fun way to wrap food. I am gonna be demonstrating on this snow globe, which is kind of a weird shape, not super easy to wrap. All you need to do for this is you need your gift, excuse me, you need tissue paper, but this is going to be very visible, so make sure you get tissue paper that you like, and ribbon and some tape and scissors. So the first thing you do is pretty simple. You put your gift in the middle of the tissue paper, and you just kind of fold it over like you would any gift, like kind of like this. And then you put a little piece of tape on the back. Then this is where it gets cute. You're gonna fold your gift, and you're gonna take one edge, and you're just gonna kind of turn it, twist it. So it's like that. And then you're gonna take your ribbon, cut it, and then wrap it around. I kind of like the edges, the crisscross to be seen. So I'm gonna put that on the top. You can put it on the bottom, doesn't matter. And then once again, you're gonna take your gift and just kind of twist it. And once again, take your, oops, some tape from earlier. Take your ribbon, cut it, and wrap it. Oops, got a little knot there. That's okay. Tie it. Boom, your hard to wrap gift now kind of looks like a piece of candy. You can fold these things out to make it a little nicer. If you want to do the ribbon trip, which is sliding scissors across a ribbon to make it curlier, you can do that, but you don't have to. And then you just turn this really hard to wrap weird gift into a nice little candy looking gift. This is again great for cookies if you have like some like not store-bought but individual cookies. You can just put a couple in here and wrap it that way, and then you have a cute way to do a cookie exchange. I think it's really simple, and it's also a fun little treat. Well guys, I hope you learned something from this video, how to make gift wrapping a little bit easier. If you have any other tricks that you want to share, feel free. And I hope this makes your holidays just a little bit easier in any way. Once again, I want you to have a great holiday season and make sure everyone stays safe. Thank you guys and have a great day.